We will talk about cost accounting in the oil and gas industry, in its upstream sector, in which oil is discovered and produced. Both process and job costing methods are widely used here, so let's have a look at their applications. At first, let us understand two major types of oil companies. The first type are exploration and production firms. These firms discover and recover oil and gas. They make money from selling extracted crude oil and natural gas on the spot market. Their main assets are oil and gas wells and mineral rights, as well as produced hydrocarbons themselves. Companies from the second group provide specialized oilfield services to the E&P firms. That's their primary source of income. OFS companies typically own sophisticated oilfield equipment as well as possess strongest domain expertise and technology. Companies of both types are very integrated. On the left chart we can see that almost half of total costs of oil producers are actually revenues of OFS providers. A notable difference between companies of these types is that E&P firms primarily use the process costing method of accounting, while OFS companies usually stick to the job costing technique. Let us discuss these cases one by one. There are a few reasons why E&P companies have to use process costing. First, oil production is delayed in time. Major expenditures normally take place during the initial exploration and drilling stages, in which no oil is produced. In addition, most of these costs are capitalized and are subject to long-term depreciation. As a result, it is not possible to tailor costs to particular barrels of oil produced. Second, oil production profile is not steady over the years. A recently drilled well may produce a lot of oil, but its flow rate will gradually decrease over the life cycle. Therefore, different time periods have different numbers of units produced, and it becomes impossible to allocate costs proportionally. And third, the life cycle of a well is quite long. It can last up to a few decades. Given this circumstance, we have to consider time value of money and adjust cost figures based on it. The chart on the right shows the life cycle of the Foinaven field, which is in the North Sea. During the period of operations, the British pound devalued by around 80% because of accumulated inflation. Because of these three reasons, the job costing method is not suitable for long-term oil development projects. On the contrary to oil producers, OFS companies use job costing very often. That is explained by the nature of their operations. Most OFS projects are short-term, require no investment, and have a transparent, easily traceable cost structure. On the graph, we have an example of a single oilfield job that took place in March and April. All materials relevant to the job were purchased in advance in January. Contractor, personnel, and equipment rental rates were all agreed to be set on the per-day basis. The only uncertain cost component here is administrative overheads, but its fraction in the overall cost composition is very low and doesn't introduce significant difference. Also, the company didn't use any of its own equipment in this project, and therefore it didn't incur any depreciation expense. As we see, all relevant costs of this job may be identified with a high degree of certainty. For this reason, the job costing method of accounting is the choice here. Thank you very much.